Alright, all you ambulance chasers, I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of the Big Thirsty Show. This is episode
I guess we back to sue or be sued because who's suing who's suing you to your old lady? Because man, they wilded out in the industry, man. I'm glad I'm in the streets and not in the street. Cause man, y'all already know, man, Joey Crack, backed up by Joe Tacopina. If you been living under a rock there, you ain't seen the thumbnail, then you know I'm talking about Fat Joe of the Terror Squad. And man, we don't know if he's bringing the terror or they bringing the terror because they accuse Fat Joe of malfeasances of practice. He countersues to them, and now, man, oh boy, and this is another Dixon. Terrence Dixon is suing Fat Joe for $20 million. So we had Derek Dixon, and now we got Terrence Dixon. So, man, it's back. We back in the Southern District of New York, man, with the Yankees hats and the Statue of Liberty and the Hudson River. So we gonna get off into this thing here, man. It was kind of confusing, man, because he was waiting on a response and getting a default judgment, and they responded all right. They responded with a civil Rico. Ooh wee, man. So let's get on into this fiasco. So Fat Joe just turned around and heated up the Terror Squad. Now this Terrence Dixon he was the hype man, and you know how important a hype man is. He was the hype man for Fat Joe and the Terror Squad for 16 years. So he said he had something to do with in the background of some songwriting and keeping the crowd hyped. And you know how they go and they want to go do that cocaine on off the stage. He keeping the crowd engaged, So man, we gonna see what and they called Terrence TA. So we gonna see what TA. So from now on, it's Fat Joe versus TA, and TA is coming at him for them 20 millies, a milli. We ain't got time to say a milli 20 times, but you get it. If you're a big thirsty fan, if you're an ambulance chaser, then you understand that we hit it with no chaser unless we chasing crooked politicians away. Whew-wee. So, man, let's get on into this, man. Everybody's been leaning back and they've been going to Spotify and they've been listening to Fat Joe and man, so we gonna get off into this right here. So he done went and caught Tacopina. Now y'all know that Tacopina name, man. He been all over the place. Hey, baby, he's been coming out with victories. Now he got out by the hair on this chinny chin in the Trump situation, but you already know that was a trumped up deal. But hey, man, he saved his reputation, and he's getting that precipitation, making it rain in the Southern District of New York. So, man, let's get off into this civil Rico. Man, actually, we're going to flip the gears, man. We're going to go straight into the case, man. We just going to go straight into the case, man. We ain't going to even come from the script. We going into the drama. Because this ain't nothing but drama. Man, I don't know what it is. Like I say, it's the season of the vexatious litigant, sue or be sued. And right now, Fat Joe is the one being sued. So Fat Joe denies sex acts with minor after former hype man $20 million lawsuit. Rapper Fat Joe, aka Joey Crack, Mr. Terror Squad himself. Y'all remember Big Pun. Man, so shout out to Big Pun, rest in peace, but we're gonna get off into this case. So he denied allegations. He engaged with sex acts with minors after he claimed that's in the lawsuit by his former hype man, Terrence T.A. Dixon. Born Joseph Antonio Cartagena, Fat Joe has been accused by Dixon of engaging in coercive labor, exploitation, financial fraud, sexual manipulation, violent intimidation, psychological coercion. Dixon is seeking up to $20 million in damages. Fat Joe is Sean Combs minus the Tootsie, Dixon's attorney says. Now his attorney is Tyrone Blackburn. You know that name from Little Rod, and Little Rod got this whole thing going, man. So that's what he said about Fat Joe. He hasn't learned from his 2013 federal conviction. Blackburn says. So Fat Joe for 4 months behind bars for failing to file his income taxes. In a statement Thursday, Fat Joe's lawyer Joe Tacopina claimed complete fabrications. Everybody is saying the same thing, man. It's a shakedown, man. The shakedown. That's what needs to be about the next big thirsty. That needs to be the theme song. It's a shakedown, baby, on the dance floor. It's a shakedown. Hey, man, let's get Mojo. Mojo, man, I need a beat for that, man. So, he added the allegations against. Oh wow! Oh, this is a blumbo clot, man. What kind of blood sucking? Man, give me a second, y'all. This is Babylon Tools, man. Babylon. What kind of stuff is that? I don't like that at all. I'm in the middle of my live, and y'all gonna do that? Man, force him to humiliating situations. Shit. Well, let's just start here, man. It is what it is, man. I'm just a victim of my tools. So in the lawsuit, Dixon alleges that he was forced into humiliating situations, including sex acts performed under duress and surveillance accompanied by threats of abandonment in foreign countries if he refused. Dixon further alleges he was forced into more than 4,000 sexual acts to maintain his standing within the enterprise. Dixon's lawsuit also alleges he faced a wide spectrum of sexual coercions, psychological control, force exhibitions, surveillance-based humiliation, being compelled to perform sex acts under observation, being filmed or directed by Fat Joe. Man, whoa, let me zip that up. This is read from the paper, Thursday. Just read from the paper. So, in the presence of others, tactics designed to control plaintiff's body, erode his autonomy, and ensure silence. These sex-based abuses were not private, incidental, or isolated. They were integral to the enterprise's culture of dominance and humiliation, enforced by defendants associations such as Pistol Pete, JB, and others, and sustained across numerous tours, locations including Miami, North Carolina, Germany, Spain, Wisconsin. The complainant continued. Florida, Dixon's also alleged that he personally witnessed Fat Joe engage in sexual relations with children who were 15 and 16. A minor. Listing 3 Jane Does who, in exchange for cash, clothing, and payment of cell phone bills, gotta keep that Motorola going, would perform oral sex and other sexual acts on the rapper. The 3 minors included a 16-year-old Dominican girl in New York, a non-U.S. Caucasian female, and a Latina female who met the defendant when she was 15 years old, turning 16 according to the documents. Fat Joe, Joey Crack, began having sexual relations with minors Doe number 2 when she was 15, and after a concert overseas, defendant flew minor Doe number 2 to New York City and Miami on multiple occasions due to the minors number 2 body being adolescent and not fully formed. The defendant, Joey Crack, paid for her to get a BBL. Minor number 2 eventually left the defendant and is now married to a professional athlete. I wonder who it is. The document further states that Joey Crack was in love with the 3rd minor and claimed to her that he would leave his wife. The defendant paid all the minor Doe's bills and took her overseas on tours and all stops. He brought her to Florida and would put her in a condo he rented a few blocks from his house with his wife and children. The lawsuit stated in a recorded conversation, minor Doe number 3, the 15-year-old cousin, described in detail to plaintiff how inappropriate it was for the defendant, who was in his late 30s at the time, to be fawning over children. Dixon claimed that the incident occurred on the Market America's corporate yacht on a corporate yacht, as well as in mansions properties where Fat Joe orchestrated repeated orgies involving plaintiff, female dancers, and minors. He also alleges that the rapper used his star status to force Dixon and others into degrading sexual performances, often while he watched and directed. I think you're a producer and a director and a voyeur. These incidents occurred under conditions that included the presence of corporate security staff, surveillance cameras, the defendant's management entourage, yet no intervention occurred. Ooh-wee. Now he's describing that civil Rico. Supporting the inference of these acts were facilitated by and covered up by and Border Enterprise and its affiliates. The complaint continued. Dixon did not willingly consent to participate in these acts. Instead, plaintiff submitted solely out of fear of immediate retaliation, which defendant repeatedly demonstrated would include financial punishment, professional sabotage, abandonment in foreign countries, or physical harm. In addition to Fat Joe, the lawsuit named Pistol Pete, that's Pete Torres, Rich player, Josh Petrie, shout out to Malcolm Petrie, but Josh Petrie, who were labeled as key associates to the rapper's criminal enterprise, allegedly. Rapper Jay-Z of Rock Nation is also named in the suit, claiming that the company aiding and concealing, transferring and manipulating Dixon's authorship rights and royalty interests in an attempt to interfere with the claims against Fat Joe. Torres and Josh Petrie, Rock Nation represents Fat Joe. Well, allegedly. So Dixon's lawsuit comes a few months after Fat Joe sued his former hype man for a social media slander. Dixon had claimed that Fat Joe flew a minor girl across state lines. That's the Mann Act. That Fat Joe flew a minor across state lines to engage in sex acts. Dixon lawyer Tyrone Blackburn also named in the lawsuit. Fat Joe's lawyer told Independent that claims of Dixon and Blackburn are desperate attempts to deflect attention away from the civil suit we filed first, which exposes the coordinated scheme to extort Mr. Cartianga, aka Joey Crack, through lies, threats, and manufacture allegations. Takapina added, "We didn't just sue a disgruntled former employee trying to revive a false claim for 15 years ago. We sued the lawyer behind it also, Tyrone Blackburn, and as well documented pattern of abusing the courts to harass defendants and generate media attention. Two separate federal judges have condemned his conduct. One for filing headline chasing lawsuits full of salacious and baseless claims, and another for making repeated legal misstatements and personal attacks in court filings." Takapina said Blackburn is the subject of a pending referral to the Southern District's disciplinary committee. Law enforcement is aware of this extortionate demand at the heart of this scheme, he said. Dixon, though, is prepared for a legal fight. This is the right way to fight Fat Joe, through the system. You can't fight him any other way. Woo-wee. So that ain't nothing but drama for your mama. So that's what's going on. The Southern District of New York got Diddy on one floor and Fat Joe on the next. Man, so man, they make it, man, the Rock Nation, the Bad Boy. Ooh, wait, man. If I had me a rap label, I'd have me a nice non-menacing name. I mean, I wouldn't name it Death Row. I wouldn't name it Bad Boy, because where do you end up? A bad boy on death row, facing the terror squad, and you're a menace to society. Woo-wee. So this is the Big Thirsty Show. These are the soldiers that they gave us to fight the Romans with. And speaking of fighting the Romans with, man, it's looking World War, a 13 essay is looking like it's on its way. Iran and its so-called Israel is dropping bombs on each other, and North Korea's got something to say, and China's got something to say, and the USA got something to say. So everybody, man, let's pray, and that's P-R-A-Y, not P-R-E-Y. Let's pray so we can make it today. Shout out to MC Hammer. You was on to something up there, Oaktown represented the mob, and whatever y'all say up there in NoCal, man. Shout out to E40. Shout out to AJ from the K for making them beats for E40. Man, get y'all some of that Cavassier and chill. And man, this is at the time of this recording. I want to say rest in peace to Belozi Heru. Y'all know that's my father. He passed on Juneteenth, and we gonna give it up to my pops. We gonna celebrate all week long. We're not just gonna stop, man. We're gonna be at the secret sesh. We're gonna be at the pool party, man. We're gonna be at the Ethiopian restaurant. We're gonna be at the cookout, man. We're gonna be on the yachts. So it is what it is. You know, tell a friend that Big Thirsty is on the mic, and he's definitely going in. I need y'all to hit the like button, and then hit the like button one more time. Hit the Cash App, hit the homies Cash App, because we love to be a pillar to the community, and they ain't doing nothing but spreading unity. I'm Big Thirsty, the host with the most, that's gonna give y'all that hot butter on your toast. This was episode 45. We trying to keep it alive, and man, we gonna tell y'all to do like Kendrick Lamar said and turn your TV off.
Right on, right on. I'd like to thank all you ambulance chasers and the Ambulance Chaser fan club for tuning in and being patient with another Big Thirsty Show. The podcast that's not afraid to blast. We had to go outside on y'all. Take it to California, and we will be back. Stay tuned for the Big Thirsty Show. Like, share, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend.
From the West Coast Offense, that's an album by Big Thirsty. The